Good afternoon to you, and welcome to the latest episode of Freeworld News. We'd like to start off the video by introducing what's happening in the website at the moment. So our trader Alex, who's normally known as the person who does trading with seeds, or sesame seed, pumpkin seed, has given a Sultana market report which might be of interest to you. So check that out on the website. I'm just going to talk firstly a little bit about what's happening in China with the stock market crash. Now it's recovered a bit as of recently. Now we all know China is the second largest economy in the world and a huge and significant importer of commodities such as copper and oil, and obviously it's a huge player in the global economy. How's that going to affect the currency and what's happening, especially with regard to volatility and the euro?
Yeah, I think viewers would be most interested in the effects on the currency. On Monday, Tuesday, we had movements of, the euro went up about 5 cents at one point. I don't know why the euro strengthened in this situation, because normally when there's a sort of risk event like a war or this kind of stock market crash, normally people would turn to the dollar for a safe haven, and normally what you'd see would be that the dollar would weaken, would increase, which would mean that the euro should have fallen on that day. And then paradoxically, when at the end of the week, the Western markets recovered, and in fact the Chinese market recovered as well, to quite a large extent. I think we're about 10% down on the Chinese stock market, but the FTSE and the Dow were depressed by 4 or 5% at one point.
Yeah.
So there was a huge shock reaction, but the way this shock reaction manifests itself was rather unusual. Seems to have gone away for now, and we're back to a euro of 112.50 maybe right now, and even sterling is a little bit, we're down to about 153.50 today. There does definitely seem to be a change in the tone. It seems that this game that's been going on about who's going to raise the interest rate first, is it going to be the Fed or is it going to be the Bank of England, is all just fading away, because it turns out now really that if the Fed looks even likely to put a quarter point on their interest rate, the Dow takes a mighty dive. So things are really rather fragile, and I suspect that neither the Fed or the Bank of England will raise interest rates for quite some time.
Right, okay. Second part of this episode revolves around this whole concept of field to work. Now, field to fork. Although field to work would also make sense. Field to fork. Now, first of all, what does field to fork mean?
Well, field to fork is a statement that's increasingly coming up the supply chain to us from retailers, and what it's really about is that they want to know where the ingredients and the products that they're selling in their supermarkets, they want to know that all of these come from safe factories, and that when they buy a biscuit, maybe it's got some pumpkin in it, they want to know that that pumpkin has come from a factory, a particular factory, which has got certain standard of safety, has been audited, and that factory, as far as possible, knows from which geographical area or field their raw material comes from.
Sure.
So the idea of this is basically starts from food security, and it's probably started with a knee-jerk response to the horse meat in the lasagna, but it transforms, in my view, the whole business model, because now you have a fixed chain of supply where literally the farmer should know that, say, the gluten-free oats that he's producing are ending in this gluten-free product over here. So everybody's actually a shareholder in the product.
Sure.
which is fantastic and something that we've always been striving for, because eventually what happens is that people have to start looking after each other.
So Freeworld Trading are increased. We're adopting this business model at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, I like to think of our company as a kind of a bit like the axolotl,
So we've got footage of that.
yeah, that'll be coming up. But the axolotl is a pet that we keep here. But the axolotl is actually something that's trapped in youth. It's like a newt. If you inject it with iodine, it'll turn into a frog and hop away. But because it's a juvenile, because it's neotenous, in other words, it can reproduce when it's a juvenile, it has ability, it retains the ability as a juvenile to regenerate all its limbs. And just in that same way, we want to stay young, and we're embracing this field to fork concept because we think this change of business model, it's not a very big change for us because we're quite loyal to our suppliers, I think everybody's going to have to do this, and we love to do it.
Right, okay, so
it's a question of adapting as a way of staying young.
Right, so adapting to changing circumstances, and we feel that the best way to do this at Freeworld Trading is this field to fork business model, which makes a lot of sense, and environmentally makes a lot of sense too.
It makes environmental sense because at the end of the day, what the supermarkets want to be able to say is that they have ethically and they have audited the supply chain of all the food in the supermarket on ethical and environmentally sustainable grounds.
Right.
In other words, they don't want to participate in some sort of rape of the environment just to produce a cheaper product. What they want to do is produce products themselves which are sustainable. So the guy who's collecting the Brazil nut is implicated in the sales of Brazil nuts, and he gets some direct benefit from that, which is what we've always been trying to do.
Sure. Okay, thank you very much for watching.